Welcome to Forward Ever, Leading in Challenging Times, presented by Worth Wealth Management, a weekly conversation with area leaders about how to persevere during uncertain times. Now here's your host, Gary Shorman.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Forward Ever, Leading in Challenging Times. It's good to have you here today because actually recording this, I'm at an employee owners meeting in Washington, D.C., and so a little different location, a little different situation, but I'm glad you're jumping on to listen to our program today because our Forward Ever guest, something that's exciting, something that is new and is going to be new to our community, and our guest is Amanda McVeigh, and she's the new district executive for the Coronado Area Council Boy Scouts of America. So Amanda, welcome to our program.
Thank you for having me, Gary.
Amanda, tell us a little bit about yourself. How'd you get into being involved with the Boy Scouts?
Well, to be honest, I had never, I didn't do Boy Scouts growing up, obviously as a girl, but my little brother did it, and my dad was a scout or a pack leader when my little brother was in elementary school. And when my dad was growing up, he was scouts.
So you have some experience in your background then, correct, of doing this, and you're going to oversee the operation of the Wheatland District. How big is the Wheatland District of the Boy Scouts?
It's about 6 counties, so Ellis, Rooks, Osborne area, Russell, Plainville, Stockton, and then some other little towns in between.
All right,
and
so that's going to keep you busy.
Very busy, which is good.
All right, one of the things that we talk about on this show is we talk about leading in challenging times, and it's challenging when you look at the youth in our world and all the different opportunities they have to get in trouble. This looks like one of those opportunities they have in Boy Scouts to be able to do some things, maybe creative side, maybe not so much screen time things. What do you see happening with young people in America and why Boy Scouts can make a difference?
Well, I used to teach in a classroom, so I saw it firsthand there where kids, their attention spans have gotten a lot shorter because they're so dependent on iPads and just screens, period. So like getting them out into the real world, doing hands-on things will help them work on their problem solving skills instead of just relying on technology to give them the answers. So that's what I really like about the Boy Scouts is they get hands-on experience and learn that there's more to the world than outside of themselves.
That sounds like a good project. How do you do that? Does scouting help you with all the things that you need to have to be able to actually, because it sounds like a great plan.
Yeah, so, they have their badges that they work on. So some of those badges are, with outdoor activities. They work on, I think some of the most popular activities for the boys to do is the Pinewood Derby. They get a badge for that. Going out and volunteering, doing community service. So just having them more involved in their community helps them realize that it's not always just about them, it's about helping others so it can benefit them and the communities in which they live. And they also can work on, like some of these Boy Scouts will know a lot about like college level science subjects that not even like a sophomore in college would be able to explain. Sometimes these boys and girls are held to knowing this stuff. And if it's an interest for them, then they can pursue a badge in that. So they can, build that background. So once they, graduate from high school, they can already have that background knowledge and experience.
I've had a chance to attend a couple of Eagle Scout ceremonies, and once you see what an Eagle Scout has gone through, you're going, wow, they cover a lot of things. One thing that scouting has had happen during the pandemic, there were some challenges in scouting. Has the whole scouting world, Boy Scouts, sort of made it through the pandemic issues?
What's one thing they've had to overcome since the pandemic?
Yes.
It's well, with a lot of the Cub packs and Boy Scout troops, they kind of fell apart because they weren't able to meet on a weekly basis. So now what we're kind of working on is rebuilding that to have it be stronger than it was pre-pandemic.
Different scouting age groups. Somebody listening out there, are the Webelos still in? I remember having some kids in the Webelo project for youngsters. Is that still a part of the scouting?
Yes. So, but for the 2024-2025 year, the Webelos will, instead of having Webelos 1 and Webelos 2, they will be split off. So 4th graders will be the Webelos, and then 5th graders will be the Arrow of Light.
Sounds exciting. So that'll actually allow more people and more kids to be involved with it. I also understand that there's a new name in the works coming up that kind of maybe describes more of what's going on with your job and how you're going to go about that. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so you're probably referring to Scouting America.
Correct.
They have decided to officially change the name so that it is more inclusive, because girls have been allowed to join for, over the past 10 years. So instead of having just boys in the title, it'll be having it say Scouting America. It won't make anybody feel excluded.
Well, that'll be fun, because we'll add family members, like you mentioned when you were growing up. You could be attending with your brother and your siblings to be able to do that if you want to make that happen. So we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and talk with Amanda here a little bit about volunteers and what it takes for a scouting program to be successful. Our guest is Amanda McVeigh, and she is the new district executive for the Coronado Area Council Boy Scouts of America, soon to be Scouting America. Back with more after this.
The most successful investors are those that can keep their emotions in check and take a longer-term view at what portfolios will be worth 3 to 5 years down the road. I'd say that's the most important in determining what investor outcomes are. Market corrections will continue in the future. We've seen many of them over the years, only to see equity prices rise higher, and that'll be the case in the future.
Worth Wealth Management, enhancing lives and strengthening families.
Welcome back to Forward Ever, leading in challenging times. And we have a new leader at Boy Scouts, now Scouting America, for the District of Coronado Area Council of the Boy Scouts, or Scouting America. Amanda McVeigh is our guest today on the program. And Amanda, we went into the break talking about volunteers, because you don't run the program all by yourself. What's it take to be a volunteer, and how do you sign up?
Well, most of our volunteers are parents of Cub Scouts and the Boy Scouts, which I'm not exactly sure how they're gonna, how those names will change here once we become Scouting America. But it's typically going to be the parents who are doing the leading. And to get involved, if you have some kids that are involved with Cub or the Boy Scouts, just say, hey, what can I do to help? Because there's all different types of volunteer positions that need to be filled. And so you can talk to the pack or troop leaders, and they can help get you the paperwork. And there is some training that you have to do in order to get approved. But once you get called youth protection, but once you get that done, then you should be able to, volunteer, help out with popcorn time, which will be rolling around here in August. So just a couple months. Or even in the summer, if you're a volunteer, you can go help out with the camps, which is a lot of fun. I know a lot of people.
You think about camping and Boy Scouts, that goes one-on-one, and that's one of the things that I know you have to have certainly good volunteers to make that happen. So two things. How do you find out about how to volunteer, which troop to go to, where you are, and maybe it's hand in hand with having a son or daughter that can participate. How do you find out where to go to actually be a participant in Scouting America as a young person?
Well, we'll have some recruiting nights, or some recruiting we'll do in the fall. So with each elementary school, we have a different path. I think right now some of them are intermingled, but for the upcoming school year, there will be a specific troop assigned to each specific elementary school. So wherever your children attend, they will, and they want to join, then that is the troop that they will be a part of.
And
So
how do they find you?
I am located in the Hadley Center in Hays, Kansas. So if you have questions, you can feel free to reach me there, Suite 115. I am also working on getting some information out online onto our iHub. So if you have questions, you can find my contact phone and email on there. But if you have questions, my email is amanda.mcveigh@scouting.org.
Well, that's easy enough to remember. So I hope people listen in, and it does give kids an opportunity to do something different, to do something maybe outside, maybe just study, maybe get them off of a iPad or iPhone where they're just, stuck doing that. So congratulations to you on your new position. What do you think is going to be your biggest challenge?
I think it's just going to be rebuilding the volunteer base from what it was before, because we have a thing called Key 3, where it's the district executive, which is me, a district commissioner, which we already have, but a district chair too, who kind of oversees the meetings of the leaders and volunteers. So we are putting together a nominating committee currently to find our next district chair, so that can help kind of give us a stronger foundation for our volunteers.
Well,
And
good luck with that. Good luck with
Thank
that, getting that to happen. And Amanda, thanks for joining us here on Forward Ever.
Thank you so much, Gary.
Our guest today is Amanda McVeigh, who is the new district executive director for the Coronado Area Council of Boy Scouts of America, soon to be Scouting America. Thanks for listening to our program. It's brought to you by Worth Wealth Management, where you can live with confidence. I'm Gary Shorman.
Thanks for joining us for Forward Ever, Leading in Challenging Times, presented by Worth Wealth Management. Join us right here next week for another episode with host Gary Shorman. Until then, remember to move forward ever, backward never.